Okay, so this is section 3.1 in Math 108. Now we're talking about the classical approach to probability. So in this case, this is where you can actually list your outcomes. Like, for example, flipping a coin 3 times, having 4 kids, and they're all equally likely, which means each has the same chance of occurring. Each of the simple events have the same chance of occurring. So n represents the number of simple events. So how many are in your sample space? That's a total. And n is how many ways that your particular event occurs. Okay, so let's look at an example of this. Okay, so this is one that actually is from the homework, and I added a couple extra examples in here that will relate to the next couple sections. So this talks about a couple has 3 children, and these are the different outcomes. So this is the first child, the second child, and the third child. So if I just pick one here, this one right here means the first child's a girl, second child's a girl, and the last one's a boy. If you look, there's 8 outcomes. They all have the same chance of occurring. And since there's 8 of them, each has a 1/8 chance of occurring. Okay, so we're going to find a couple of probabilities. This is the one in the homework, and again, I add the ones below there. And I write down the outcomes that go along with it. What is the probability of having 0 boys? 0 boys, the only way you have 0 boys, it means you have all girls, okay? So I put GGG, that's the only outcome. So that probability would be 1 out of 8. So 1 is the one way that your event can occur out of the 8 in the sample space. Okay, so there's our first example. These are not in the homework, but this will relate to the next section. What's the probability of 2 boys out of 3 children? So again, I wrote down all the different ways you can have 2 boys out of 3 children. You could have 2 boys and a girl, boy, girl, boy, or you can have a girl, boy, boy. Those are 3 possibilities out of the 8 outcomes, or 8 in the sample space, so it's 3/8. Now make sure this one is already reduced. If not, like let's say you get 4/8, make sure you always reduce that fraction if that happens in the homework or what have you. The next one says 1 boy out of 3 children. So you could have a boy and 2 girls, a girl, a boy, and a girl, or a girl, girl, boy. Again, that's 3 outcomes out of 8. Okay, and then finally this last one. It says, what is the probability of at least 1 boy? At least 1 boy means you have 1 boy or more. So that means you have 1 boy, 2 boys, or 3 boys. So at least 1 is 1, 2, or more. Okay, 1 boy is actually the one we found right here. So we listed the outcomes. 2 boys is actually the outcome right here. All the outcomes here. And then 3 boys would be boy, boy, boy. If you count them all up, 2, 3, they add up to 7. It would actually be all the outcomes. I'm just going to show you something because this relates. It would be all the outcomes except for getting all girls. So if I were to circle all these up here to just kind of show you, at least 1 boy is 1 boy or more, it would be all of these outcomes, which is 7 out of 8, or all except for this one outcome, which is all girls. And that's a very important topic that we'll talk about in the next sections coming up here. So the complement of at least 1 boy is no boys. Again, that's something in the next section here.